My beloved child, you were never alone. I stood by you when the world turned away. There is a strange silence surrounding your name right now, a hush that isn't empty, but full of meaning. The angels have gathered around you, their wings trembling with emotion, and their eyes filled with divine sorrow, because they know something you haven't yet allowed yourself to see. Someone you once held so close, someone who made a home inside your heart, is not talking to you, not because they don't care, but because their soul is overwhelmed. They are carrying something too heavy, and instead of placing it in your hands, they've chosen silence. And heaven is watching this with tears. Because the angels know what this silence truly means. It's not rejection. It's not betrayal. It's not indifference. It's pain. A pain so deep that it drowned their voice. Michael is whispering in the corridors of your life right now, saying, "Child of God, don't judge this silence as abandonment. Don't assume you are forgotten. You are not. In fact, your name is being whispered in their prayers, spoken softly in their tears, mentioned in the spaces where words cannot reach. And God? God is saying something even more tender. I placed love inside them for you, and though they do not speak, their silence is filled with longing. The angels are holding a message in their hands right now. A scroll that was written in heaven with golden ink, and it carries the truth your heart has been aching for. And it begins like this: My beloved child, the distance you feel is not proof of absence. It is proof of the storm. A storm that both of you are surviving in different ways. But my timing is bringing peace. Don't react. Don't panic. Don't close your heart. Just listen. And that's why you're here now. That's why you're seeing this. Because the moment has come for you to listen, not to them, but to heaven. The person who isn't talking to you, they dream about you still. They remember the way your smile made the world feel safe. They revisit old moments in the secret parts of their soul. But life has pressed heavy on their shoulders, and pride, confusion, fear, all of it built a wall they didn't know how to tear down. But the angels? The angels are working on it. Archangel Michael has been sent by God to surround that person's spirit with divine intervention. And very soon, that wall will begin to crumble. You will see it. You will feel it. But you must not give up now. You must not let their silence infect your worth. Don't let it convince you that you were not enough. You were more than enough. You still are. And heaven knows it. Heaven celebrates it. That's why the angels are saying, listen before it's too late. Listen before you walk away from something that was never meant to end, only meant to pause. There is still time. Time for reconciliation. Time for healing. Time for that voice to speak again. And when it does, when that silence breaks and the sound of love returns to you, it will not come as noise, but as music. And you will know, it was always God working behind the scenes. He just needed you to believe long enough. There are some silences, beloved, that are louder than thunder. The kind that doesn't echo through your ears, but pierces your soul without a sound. This is not just someone avoiding you. This is someone hiding from their own heart. The angels have been watching them, not with judgment, but with compassion. Because heaven knows, it's not easy to admit when you're broken, and even harder when the one who could heal you is the same one you're afraid to face. The angels saw the moment they typed your name and deleted it. The moment they stared at your photo and sighed instead of speaking. The moment their lips trembled to say something, but they swallowed the words like sorrow in reverse. And Michael whispered that very hour, "Don't let the silence fool you. The silence is a battlefield. And they are not fighting you. They are fighting themselves. You are not forgotten. You are not erased. In fact, your name has been carved deeper into their memory than even they understand. You see, when you leave fingerprints on someone's spirit, not even time can wipe it away. And though they might pretend they're okay, heaven knows they aren't. And God, oh, God has heard the ache of your heart. He has seen the tears you tried to hide from others. He has listened when you whispered, "Why?" and got no answer in return. But now He is responding, through this message. Through this very moment. And He is saying, "I did not bring you this far to abandon you. I did not allow your love to be wasted. I only allowed the silence so I could finish what I started, in you, and in them. So do not rush to assume you are being punished. This is not punishment, this is positioning. This is not rejection, it is redirection. Because God is preparing a revelation that will explain everything that was once confusing. You've been walking through a season of stillness not because nothing is happening, but because everything is happening, beneath the surface. Just like seeds don't make noise when they grow, neither do souls when they're being reformed by God's hand. And this person, the one who stopped talking, they are being reformed. Michael stands beside your bed every night. He watches the way you roll over to the empty side. The way you pause at old messages. The way you replay old conversations in your head. And He doesn't judge you. He just places peace beside your pillow and waits for you to rest. Because this storm will pass. This confusion will pass. And what will remain is the kind of clarity that doesn't come from answers, but from presence, divine presence. God's presence. The presence of a new chapter that makes the old one make sense. This is not your ending. This is your turning point. The angels are saying it as clearly as heaven allows. Wait. Watch. Do not close your heart. Something sacred is unfolding. Something heavenly is moving through their heart as we speak. And very soon, you'll see the sign. A message. A touch. A breakthrough. But you must not walk away before it arrives. Your patience is not in vain. Your love is not in vain. And your presence still matters, even in their silence. There are things that the mouth never dares to say, but the heart screams every second, and the soul weeps every night. This person who is not talking to you, they are not silent because they don't feel, they are silent because they feel too much. Their silence is not coldness, it's fear. Not of you, but of what will happen if they let it all pour out. Because they know that once the dam breaks, once the truth escapes, they can never go back to pretending again. And heaven knows they have been pretending for too long. Archangel Michael has walked beside them, even when they tried to run from everything they felt. Even when they shut every emotional door, the angel stood on the other side, knocking gently, never forcing, but always waiting. Michael says this person is carrying guilt like a backpack of bricks. They are haunted not by your anger, but by your kindness. Not by your absence, but by the way you stayed even when it hurt. They remember every detail, not the dates or the calendar days, but the way your eyes looked when you said, "I understand," even when you didn't. The angels say that your love became a mirror, and when they looked into you, they saw their flaws, their wounds, their fears, and they weren't ready to face themselves. So they distanced themselves, not to reject you, but to avoid the reflection. And now, as they stay quiet, heaven is stirring. The air around them has started to change. Every song they hear reminds them of you. Every quiet moment reminds them of what they ran from. And Michael whispers again, "This is not about you being forgotten. It's about them remembering who you really are." Beloved, do not mistake delay for denial. God has been using this time to break walls that you could never touch with your words. He's been entering places in their soul where no one else is allowed. He's healing trauma, rewriting thoughts, revealing truths, and all of it is happening in silence. Because sometimes, What God is doing in them is more important than what they're saying to you. The angels have seen it. The dreams, the restlessness, the sudden floods of emotion, the moments when they reach for their phone and hesitate, the prayer they whispered when they thought no one heard. But heaven heard. You may have only seen the absence, but heaven saw the battle. You may have only heard the silence, but heaven heard the storm. And now, Archangel Michael has been released to move. Released to intervene. To bring the truth to light. To bring clarity where confusion lived. And God says, the moment is approaching when this silence will shatter like glass, and when it does, what you will hear will not be words of explanation, but cries of healing, surrender, and reconciliation. You are not alone. You are not left behind. You are not rejected. You were preserved. Preserved for the moment when the other person would be ready to meet you with the depth you always offered. This is the turning. This is the holy hush before the divine shift. Don't leave the waiting room just yet. Don't close your heart when it's about to be touched. Don't walk away when heaven is preparing to walk toward you. The angels are circling. And the person who is not talking, they are on the edge of breakthrough. You thought their silence meant forgetfulness, but heaven is whispering that they remember you in ways words could never express. Their quiet isn't absence, it's a sacred pause, a divine interval where their spirit is being reshaped by the hands of the Almighty. And though they may never confess it aloud, they feel the weight of your prayers. They feel the pull of your spirit in places they can't explain. They feel you. Still. Michael says they have cried for you in rooms where no one saw. Their pride wouldn't let them reach out, but their soul kept stretching toward you in dreams, in songs, in flashes of memory. You didn't imagine the connection. It was not one-sided. It was not weakness. It was the breath of God woven between two hearts who were never meant to lose each other in the noise of the world. This is why you felt the sudden shift lately, why your heart has been stirring without cause. It's because something is waking in them. The silence is not growing darker, it's getting ready to break. And when it does, it will not sound like an apology, it will sound like surrender. Not to you, but to God. Because this time, heaven is leading the reunion, not emotion, beloved. Your patience is planting seeds you cannot see. Every time you chose love over retaliation, silence over argument, faith over fear, those moments went into the soil of their spirit like drops of holy rain. And though they didn't bloom when you hoped, they are blooming now in unseen places. The angels have been watering what you left behind. And the Spirit of God is bringing light to it in ways you cannot control, but can trust. Listen closely. God is saying, I have not wasted your tears. I have not ignored your longing. I have been rewriting the chapters you thought were finished. And I am not done yet. You may feel forgotten, but heaven is remembering everything. The timing, the promises, the wounds, and most of all, the purpose. And this person is not just someone you loved. They are someone you were assigned to. And even if the journey has taken detours, God's will still remains anchored. Archangel Michael says the heartbreak you experienced was never in vain. It was the fire that forged you, the silence that deepened your faith, the delay that protected your soul. And now? The turning is here. What's coming is not just a message, it's a divine unraveling. A moment where truth pierces confusion, and clarity washes over everything you didn't understand. The person who went silent is being awakened. Not just to your love, but to their calling. And your presence in their life is part of that awakening. The angels are leaning in. Heaven is holding its breath. The pages are turning. And the next chapter is not about separation, it's about redemption. Don't stop hoping now. Don't walk away when you're inches from the miracle. Don't close your heart when heaven is opening a door. There is a quiet sadness that follows you into your sleep. A feeling that someone you once trusted is still thinking about you, still carrying your name in the silence of their own regrets. Heaven has seen it. God has recorded it. Archangel Michael is confirming it now. This person has been speaking about you not with their mouth, but with their pain. And though they may not reach out with a text, their heart has been calling you louder than their lips ever could. You feel them, don't you? In moments of stillness, in strange memories that resurface without warning, in tears that visit without cause. It's because something is spiritually unfinished between you and them. Not toxic, not cursed, just incomplete. But heaven has not abandoned it. Angels have been assigned to this connection. Not to restore it back to what it was, but to resurrect what it was always supposed to be. You weren't the mistake. You were the light in their confusion. You weren't the problem. You were the bridge that led them closer to their own healing. And when they walked away, they didn't just walk from you. They walked from a part of themselves they didn't feel worthy to keep. And now? That truth is chasing them. Softly. Fiercely. Without rest. They may be with someone else, or hiding behind a mask of pride, pretending that nothing bothers them. But angels see through it. God hears the private breakdowns. Heaven knows they miss you in ways they will never post, never admit, never explain. But the pull is real. The ache is growing. Because the time is shifting. There's a divine discomfort rising in their chest every time your name is mentioned. Not because they hate you, but because they know what they lost, and the weight of that truth is finally catching up. And while the world told you to move on, heaven told you to hold space. You didn't wait because you were weak. You waited because your spirit understood something your mind couldn't fully explain. You knew this connection had roots deeper than logic. And now God is moving. Not to punish, but to reveal. Not to rewind the past, but to release a new kind of future. One where healing replaces hiding. One where truth walks through the door you were once pushed out of. One where they don't just return, they return transformed. But hear this clearly, your miracle is not attached to their apology. Your breakthrough is not dependent on their confession. God is already rewarding you for your faithfulness, your restraint, your unseen prayers. You will not leave this season empty-handed. You will not exit broken. Heaven is preparing a joy that will feel like justice. A peace that will feel like power. A restoration that won't feel like the past coming back, but like your soul finally catching up to the promises God whispered in your tears. You are not crazy for still feeling them. You are not foolish for still loving them. You are chosen to see what most ignore, the work God does behind closed hearts, in quiet hallways, in places where no eye can see. The angels are shouting, "Don't give up on the miracle you can't see yet." You're not waiting in vain. You're walking toward something divine. There's a reason heaven waited to reveal this. A reason why the angels didn't speak sooner. Because your heart needed to reach a certain level of maturity. Your spirit needed to rise above the noise of offense and pain. And now, finally, you're ready. Ready to hear this message that has been echoing in heaven's chambers. Ready to receive the truth that was too heavy for your earlier seasons. And here it is, the silence of this person was never meant to punish you. It was a reflection of their own spiritual paralysis. They went quiet not because you were unworthy, but because your presence exposed their wounds, and they didn't know how to heal while being seen. God isn't angry with you for loving them. In fact, your love was the only holy thing some parts of their life had ever encountered. You gave them prayers when all they had ever known was pressure. You gave them patience when all they gave you was confusion. And now, the very angels who witnessed your tears are preparing a divine reversal, not to bring you revenge, but to bring you revelation. Because the silence they gave you is about to be broken. Not with words, but with signs. You will start noticing strange shifts. Their name will show up in dreams. You will see confirmations on your feed, in passing conversations, in lyrics that feel like letters sent from beyond. This is heaven's way of speaking. Your heart has carried so many questions. Do they think of me? Do they regret how they left? Did I matter at all? The angels want you to know, yes. They think about you constantly. And yes, they regret more than they show. But what matters most is this: you never stopped mattering to heaven. And God has not let your name be forgotten. You see, the anointing on your life shook something deep in their foundation. Your light scared the darkness out of them. Your spirit caused their hidden guilt to tremble. That's why they distanced themselves, not because you were wrong, but because you were right in ways their soul wasn't ready to admit. But beloved, this next part of your life? It's not about proving anything to them. It's about receiving everything God saved for you. There's a relationship that won't require you to shrink. A love that won't punish you for being too deep, too sensitive, too spiritual. Someone is coming, not to replace what you lost, but to redeem the time you thought was wasted. And if this person who once went silent returns, they will only be allowed access if they've gone through transformation. Not just change. Change is temporary. Transformation is evidence that they've been in the presence of God. Until then, keep listening. Because angels are still speaking. They're guiding your heart toward wholeness. Whispering affirmations into your weary soul. And reminding you that even in silence, heaven has been speaking your name out loud. They're watching you from the unseen realm with celebration, because you stayed pure in a season that tried to poison your love. So don't give up now. You're not just walking through heartbreak. You're walking into divine upgrade. The kind that will silence every lie spoken about you. The kind that will make you weep, not in sorrow, but in sweet, unexpected relief. You've waited in silence. You've walked through the coldness of unanswered messages and the echoing spaces of what-ifs and why-not-yous. But let me tell you what the angels are witnessing now. They are watching the tables turn. Quietly. Gently. Divinely. Not through chaos, but through clarity. Not through noise, but through a sacred knowing that lives inside you. The same person who thought silence would set them free is now feeling haunted by the absence of your voice. They are realizing that what they lost wasn't just your presence, it was your prayer, your patience, your spiritual covering. They didn't just lose a person. They lost a divine connection. A bridge between their brokenness and their breakthrough. And while you were wondering, did I not mean enough? Heaven was answering with, you meant everything, but they were not ready for everything yet. The angels have watched you cry and still forgive. They have seen your faith remain when all others abandoned ship. They have whispered hope into your soul on nights when you felt invisible. And now, they are gathering the evidence, the prayers, the moments you held your tongue in love, and they are preparing a return. Not necessarily of the same person, but of every seed you sowed in silence. There's a divine delay that's not denial. Heaven has been rearranging timelines, separating your destiny from the distractions, and assigning restoration to the rightful time. Your current quietness is not punishment, it is protection. God is shielding you from the noise so you can recognize the whisper. Because the whisper is where miracles are born. In the quietness of trust. In the sacredness of obedience. And if they do return, if that silent one comes back into your orbit, don't rush to explain yourself. Your life will speak loud enough. The way God blesses you publicly will make sense of everything they dismissed privately. You won't need to prove you were worthy of love. Your glow will prove that you are love. You won't need closure when heaven opens doors they never could. And this time, you won't need to beg to be understood. The person who is meant for your next chapter will already see you without needing explanation. So don't shrink for their silence. Expand in your surrender. Let their absence be the classroom where you learned your worth. And let your growth be the testimony that silence never meant abandonment, it meant redirection. The angels didn't let you break down to destroy you. They let you bend so you could discover you were never breakable. You are spirit before you are person. You are divine before you are wounded. And the one who left you without words is now surrounded by voices reminding them of who you were. But it's not your job to wait. It's your season to rise. Angels are holding the mirror up now, not for them, but for you. So you can see what God has always seen. So you can finally say, if silence was all they gave me, I'll still use it to worship. You didn't lose them. You found you.